so close to the end of Out of Chicago here. It's kind of making me a little sad, but we're doing some more interviews, and we have Teri here. Thank you for coming down and making some time to talk with me.
You're very welcome.
So we were chatting, and you do something a little bit different than everyone else that's here. So
That's very true.
You are specializing in mobile photography.
That's correct.
So your only camera that you use on your workshops, on your art, on everything is an iPhone.
That's correct.
Or several iPhones, you said, right?
I actually have a backup because since it is my only camera and I do a lot of traveling, I want to, just in case something happens.
Excellent, excellent. So did you ever shoot photography with a camera before, or did you just get right into it with the iPhone?
No, I was an icon shooter for quite a few years. Actually, I started in high school, and then in 2010 is when I fell in love with the iPhone.
And you just were like, that's it, I'm embracing this, and that's it.
I embraced it because of an app that gave me HDR capability, and I loved it. I was just blown away with it.
Are you still using the same app?
I use ProHDR. That's the one that is an HDR app that, like I said, made me fall in love with the capabilities of the iPhone. And I enjoy it because it's always with me and it's always there. Not only with the camera, but your editing options. You
could have the best 1DX or Phase 1 camera, but if you leave it at home or in your studio, it doesn't do any good when something amazing happens out there in the world. So, that's why I think this popularity of mobile phones and cameras, and they're getting better and better, it's just blown up in the last few years. More than that even, but it's just the last few years, it's just, you see people as their only camera is an iPhone. So
that's true.
So are there a few, you have some stuff I know you're going to show us. Is there a few tips you can give people out there that want to take better pictures professionally with their iPhones or Androids or whatever it may be, that they can that you can help them with?
Well, definitely. The biggest thing that you get your native camera, which is the one that I say is the one that you get when you purchase the phone or your camera.
Yeah.
And that is wonderful. But the apps that are available, especially on the iPhone, are amazing. Like I said, with HDR options, there's an HDR option on the native camera, but it doesn't really pop. It doesn't do much.
Yeah, it just you hit it and it changes it very slightly.
Very slightly. Where there's an app that I use a lot, also called Pro Camera. It has your regular camera in it that has even white balance capabilities. Nice. But in your HDR version, you can actually decide how many stops you go down and up completely manually. And it's a live view. So as you're moving it, you can actually see live view where your brightness points pop, go off to one side and where your shadows go off on the other. And it's amazing. And it's visual, and that's what I love about it. It's always about the visual. I'm not a technical thing.
What you see is what you get. You're
like, correct.
I'm looking at this, and this is what I'm going to get. You don't want to have to think of it as a film camera, take a picture, wait a week to get your pictures back. You want to see what you're getting right now.
Not only that, but then I can literally take the photograph, put a few edits on it, and then share it with social media, watch the sunrise, and get likes, and people say, oh, it's beautiful, and I'm still watching the sunrise.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Awesome. So one of the definite tips is get away from the native camera that came with it and get a better app.
But be aware that they're out there. Yeah. And when you do get one, set it up. There's lots of settings. There's lots of control that you have in those other apps that you need to pay attention to because it is your camera. I mean, so don't think that the way it was set up as you got it out of the box per se, it was what you wanted.
So we were chatting also about post-processing. So you don't want to just, be that person at a concert that takes a picture and then that's it. They put the blurry picture up there. So you want to still treat this like a camera, like you would your Nikon, and shoot it with intention and get a good shot and use that app. But then you're also editing them as well before you put them out there.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're not using the native app for editing them either.
No, I don't. The reason that I don't is I like to have what I consider my raw file. If you want to talk, it's not true raw, but there are TIFF-like images with these other camera apps. And then I use Snapseed, I'd say most of the time for my basic editing for the,
it's a great app.
It's very much Lightroom-like that I consider it. And then there's hundreds of apps after that, but the ones that I would highlight would be Image Blender. There's lots of painterly apps. There's some that are put out by JixiePix, a developer that are phenomenal.
I'm going to have to go watch this later. and I'll be watching it and go, okay, write this down, write that down.
I actually have an app list on my blog.
You do? Okay, we'll have to do that URL later because I need to go look these up because I'm always trying to find new apps that are awesome, and they're just not, you know?
Well, that's one thing that's hard with Apple is to find out what are the good apps. You can type in photography, you can type in different things, but then the list is way too long, and
you find the first
ratings
5 or 10, and then they don't give you the good ones always.
Not always, as we know, that's not the way ratings work all the time. So so yeah, find somebody that you like to follow, and there's, like I said, there's thousands out there, and I've been in this for 6 years, and so I was able to rise with some of those beginners, and some of them have fallen off, and other ones have just exploded and just gave us great capabilities.
No, I know I use Snapseed as well for my stuff. Even though Lightroom came out with their app, I actually still use Snapseed for when I do my mobile stuff, and I use Lightroom for something totally different. I use it as more of a portfolio. Even though I have editing capabilities, I find that I don't want to edit that picture necessarily in Lightroom all the time. Are the apps that you're using or gravitating towards paid apps mostly, or are they free apps?
Most of the time, I find Snapseed's the rare exception. And so it's free, and it's extremely powerful. You can even mask in it now. I mean,
really? I haven't used it in a while, I guess.
Yes, and even the black and white just came up with the blue color channel. I mean, so you have your color channels. It's just, it blows me away what we're getting for free, but that is the rare exception. But most of them are $1.99, and they upgrade for free. And there's a few that are up to $5, and people go, holy cow, it's $5. But in this world, I mean, for $50, you would have enough playtime for a very long time.
A couple of dollars doesn't bother me. We looked up, Ron Pepper and I looked up, we've been looking for some different panoramic apps and stuff. Then I've had a heck of a time finding anything that's really worthwhile in that market. And we looked up an app, and it was $250, and I'm like, no, not gonna happen.
No, and as far as answering that question for you, unfortunately, we don't have a great panoramic app yet. There's a few out there, but to me, the native camera with their panoramic is still better.
Yeah, there were so many problems when I was doing it. I downloaded the one they suggested with Facebook, which was Google Street View, and it cuts everything off. People's legs are here, their body's here, and I'm like, how does this bad? It was terrible.
Well, there's not a great workaround yet. There was an app called Auto Stitch that Google has purchased, and Google also purchased Nick, which was Snapseed also, and they've done wonders with us for Snapseed. But Google has put it in their Google Photos for their cloud storage.
Gotcha.
But they decide what photos they stitch together for you and which ones they don't. And I'm hoping they open that up for everybody so we can stitch again, because stitching is amazing. And we're not talking to just pano stitch. We're talking about even square stitches, 2-row panos, 3-row panos. And I haven't lost that app yet, so I use it all the time.
Especially if you want to print from the smaller devices, smaller sensors, you can get bigger images if you can stitch a bunch of images together.
You can go up to 36 gigabytes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So a big thing about photography in general is supporting the camera, and you have a regular size tripod that someone like me would use with a Micro Four Thirds or DSLR for your iPhone. So support is still a big thing.
Well, I love shooting on my tripod. I feel that you look at photography different when you're on a tripod. You pay attention to your edges, you pay attention to your composition, and you slow down a bit. To me, this is still about creating a great image. I find that people want to hold their cameras out here, and there's no stability out here. I also have a tremor, which doesn't do me any good. And a lot of people, when they tap, you're tapping and you're moving. I got my other camera here, and so you're moving. You tap and you do this. And so, even making yourself the tripod and so forth. And when you are doing the panos on the native camera, don't do them like this, because your foreground will definitely not be able to stitch. Or if you use your hands like this and use it as the ball head and just turn around this way, you're going to get a much better stitch.
Much better stitch. I've noticed that a few times that I've started to do that to try to keep it in line.
Perspective, just like if it's on a tripod, we have all those pano heads and everything else, but as long as you just, keep it.
Very cool. So you have a little device here and a little bracket. Who makes this?
This is ME Photo.
Okay.
So I like it because it holds it in well. You tighten it on both sides and it doesn't jiggle. I find a lot of times the spring-loaded ones don't hold them tight enough, so when you go tapping, it'll move again. Where here, there's lots of stability here. It moves the tripod before it moves anything else.
You got a little quick release plate on it.
Quick release plate, little ball head.
A little area to move it up here too.
Yeah, that moves unscrew here,
So you
and
can move
you
it up
can
and
move it
down.
up and down and all around and do different perspectives this way, or I can also have this ball head and
Very
move
cool.
it this way. So there's a lot of flexibility there.
What's the cost on something like that?
This was $35. Then your ball head's probably around $30 too. So really,
Cool.
for under $100, you're totally set up for the iPhone, and you don't need, like I say, a lot of weight. I do a lot of backpacking,
Yeah.
and that's another reason I love this is my camera bag's about this big. I also have some favorite lenses.
Some cool
a lot of
little
people
lenses.
ask.
Yeah.
They're put out by Moment Lens. It's a Seattle-based company, and there's a 18 and a 60 here, and they have a little plate on the back. Actually, it's on the back of this phone here, that
You can screw it
you
into.
just get the plate along with the lens, and you just screw it right into there, and it locks right in, and they're
So it's a
solid.
60 millimeter. So this will give, what is the native?
28.
28. So this will make it a 60.
That's correct, and this will make it an 18. And
Very
it's
cool.
not a fisheye, it's a true 18, which
So
is
it's not all
different than a lot
stretched
of them. That's correct.
Awesome.
So they're about $100 a piece, so they're not cheap, but they're real glass, and you can feel the weight
Yeah,
of them.
these ones are actually built like a lens.
Right, and you can still leave your case on, which a lot of people complain about some of the other ones, that you have to take your case off.
Take it off, yeah.
And a lot of times, just getting it on there's a little difficult. Where here, the plate's there, and you're ready to
there.
screw them on.
I like that. Very cool.
Yeah.
So as a photographer, I like to ask all our artists this: what never fails to inspire you?
Never fails to inspire me. The concept of being able to get out, I wanted to be able to teach, travel, take photos, and I'm able to do that now. And the concept of being able to share this with people, having people just even telling you what I've told you today inspires me, because I've told you something you didn't know, and I can do that on a regular basis.
Awesome.
And I can tell people, and it doesn't take me long, where it's hard to stand out and teach somebody new in something. And I fell in love with that concept, and I really want people to reach out to me because I have a wealth of information, and I want to share it, because that's what inspires me to do this, continue doing this.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, I love this. This is great. Sometimes you don't want to take a lot of gear. This is a great option. You keep seeing them. They push in the megapixels, the bigger sensors. The cameras are getting better. The lenses and the 7 is supposed to be better. It's just so it's becoming a very awesome option to have with you all the time. So
yes, it is.
I think people should embrace it more, learn more about it, and take it more seriously, in my opinion. So
I want to say one more thing that I think a lot of people aren't aware of is the iPad has a plug-in where you can import photos from any card. So you can take any camera, you can import them in. Yes, they would be a JPEG file, but you have the capability of editing all these wonderful apps all the time with you. You don't have to wait till you get home. You're sitting in your office at a desk in front of a computer. We get tired of sitting in front of a computer, and it's tactile. So you literally are painting on the glass. You're moving things around. You can dodge and burn.
It's like a big little Wacom.
Yeah.
Especially the new iPad Pro one with the pencil and everything, too.
Right. And I actually like my finger, because then I'm actually part of the image. And it's amazing when you get into that world and it's right here. That's actually another thing that really inspires me, is being part of that image.
I love it. I love it. So tell everyone where they can find out more about you and your workshops and everything.
My blog is Teri Lou, TeriLou.com is my website. My blog's TeriLouBlog.com, so TeriLouBlog.
Okay, and they can find out about the apps there. You said you have an article on the blog, right?
Yep, I do.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate
Thank
you coming down
me.
and chatting with me, and hopefully this will help some of you guys out there get some better images.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your show.
Thank you.